We are AFSA.
We are AFSA.
We are AFSA.
We are AFSA, proud of our past, looking forward to our future, and making a difference today.
My name is Chief Master Sergeant Eric Paddock. I'm currently the Ramstein Air Base Operations Group Superintendent. I've been in the Air Force now for 23 years. I entered in November 1994, originally as a vehicle operator. I retrained in air traffic control in 1998, where I've been for the last 19 years. I've worked air traffic control in both the States and in Europe. In fact, I'm in my 15th year in USAFE right now. I've done tours into special operations as a combat aerospace manager. I've been a forward deployed functional manager for AFSA and the USAFE AF Africa MAGCOM functional manager. Outside the career field, I've been an additional duty first sergeant, squadron superintendent, and now I'm a group superintendent. And it makes me think back, over my 23 years I've received a lot of advice, not all good, not all bad. But this one really stuck home, and is do not let any one person or one assignment dictate your career. And what they meant by that is we live in an Air Force that's we're always changing, we're constantly moving. And if we're in a working center where we have a disagreement with a coworker, or we don't see eye to eye with our supervisor or someone in our chain of command, or we don't like the location that we're stationed at, we can't let that one instance dictate what could be the next 20 years of our career. And my example for that is my wife and I were stationed at Grand Forks, North Dakota, back when I was a senior airman and staff sergeant. We really did not like the location. And to compound things, I had a supervisor I didn't get along with. In fact, I still have an EPR where my name is misspelled on my EPR. We were so frustrated with this assignment that I contemplated getting out of the military. And I actually started looking for jobs and making plans to get out, and my wife was supporting me. And that's when someone gave me that advice. Don't let this impact the rest of your career. Think about why you joined the military. Shortly thereafter, I received orders to Lodges Field when it was still a company tour, and we ended up PCSing there. And the co-workers I met at Lodges were some of the best people I've ever worked with, and now they're lifelong friends. And from then on, I had 16 more years in the military, where we traveled the world many times over, and we've had a great time. But if I would have let my disappointment from that one co-worker, or that one assignment, dictate where I went with my career, I might have lost out on my 23-year Air Force career. So things change. There's always the light at the end of the tunnel. So just remember that when you're in a tough spot, don't let that one person change why you joined the military. Think about the future and what can happen. Now, I'll be honest, the first billboard I thought about was for the spouses, and was take a deep breath and think before you post on the Facebook site. But since this is about the airmen, I want to talk about what I would say for them. And that is, remember why you joined the Air Force. We live in a busy time. Additional duties, we're overburdened by them. Deployments, long hours, inspection prep, all this stuff gives us this mental and physical stress that at times can be overwhelming and take our mind off why we originally joined. I joined the Air Force to serve my country. And it meant a lot to me to wear this uniform. And throughout times of my career, I've had those black days where I'm just think, I can't do this anymore, it's too much, the hours are too long, I miss my family. And I've had to reflect back on why I joined and what kept me going. When I look in the mirror, I'm still proud to wear my uniform. And I always tell myself, once I'm no longer proud to wear this, once I no longer desire to serve my country, that's when I'll exit the military. But these things that come and go, these daily pressures, they won't dictate my career. I'll dictate my career. So I always have to reflect back occasionally when I'm going through a tough time of why I joined and why I still serve. And it helps me get through the darkest patches. And I like to brief this a lot when I talk to ALS classes. And one of my biggest failures is when I was a supervisor, is leading people when I was a young supervisor to be exact. When I graduated ALS, I was going back to my career field, and I already had 2 airmen waiting for me to get back, and I was excited. I was going to change the Air Force. I was going to make them better to accomplish the mission. I was going to make them into the perfect airman. Unfortunately, my idea of the perfect airman was me. So I tried to change them into me. As you can probably imagine, that greatly failed. It failed many times. I didn't understand at the time that everyone was different. Everyone had their own motivation, their own ways to be recognized, their own dreams, their own passions, values, and beliefs. So as a young staff sergeant, and even times as a tech sergeant, I failed the people that I supervised. It wasn't until I took over larger sections and I had more people working for me that I realized that everyone was different, that I had to use their personal strengths, their beliefs to motivate them, and I couldn't expect them to perform like I did. I couldn't expect them to be me, and it wasn't fair to them, for me as their supervisor, to hold them accountable for that. So over time, I learned from my mistakes, and I treated people differently. And that's made me probably a better senior NCO and hopefully a better chief now, because now when I lead people, I find out what motivates them. How can I help them achieve their goals? And when I make them achieve their goals, they're happier and perform better. So just remember that when you're supervising people, you can't expect them to be you. They're their own. And when learning what they are, they can accomplish so much more. When I tell people this belief, they kind of raise their eyebrow at me. So here it goes. It is okay to fail. Failure is an option. Now you might be shaking your head, failure is not an option. This is a one mistake Air Force. This is not a one mistake Air Force. Now, zero tolerance, that's one mistake. Intentional safety violation or skipping a step on your TO, that's zero tolerance. But I'm talking about taking a chance to improve a process and making a mistake. Back in the days of Quality Air Force, with the OODA loop, it was actually part of our change process. And people forget that. I always tell people that I supervise that my stripes are your safety net. I want you to take chances. I want you to fail. And when you fail, we will find out how you failed, why you failed, and how we can fix that, and we'll try again. And you may fail again, but we might get one step closer to what we wanted. Through those failures, you will learn to do your job better. Through those failures, you'll learn to be a better supervisor. So as an airman or NCO coming up the rank, don't be scared to take chances. Reach out, try new things. For supervisors that are rating, when someone fails, instead of beating them down, build them back up. Help them out, help them get to where they wanted to be. We will not change the Air Force if we're scared to take chances. We will not change the Air Force if we're scared to fail. We have to fail to succeed. It makes us better people, it makes us better leaders, and it makes the Air Force better. I've been a member of the Air Force Sergeants Association since I was an airman. I had a great supervisor that told me the importance of being a member of this. I didn't really understand it as an airman though, but I always paid my dues. I really wasn't worried about retirement. I wasn't worried about my benefits or my family because I didn't have any of that stuff. At my 15th year mark in the Air Force, I remember our senior civilian leaders started talking about changing our retirement, taking away my benefits, taking away my medical stuff, taking away everything that I signed and I worked so hard for. And I was scared. And it was AFSA that fought for us. They were the voice of reason. They were the voice that pressured them not to change our benefits. Through AFSA, we still have what we have. And at that point, I became a lifelong member of AFSA. So AFSA, I'd like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to the airmen. For those who submitted questions, thank you for giving me the opportunity to answer your questions. And I hope I answered some of them correctly, and I hope that I helped you out.